Canned tuna seems like the perfect healthy protein. Affordable, convenient, heart smart. But what if that can in your pantry is hiding mercury attacking your brain, sodium spiking your blood pressure, or bacteria that could land you in hospital? For Canadians over 50, the risks are stacking up. Today, we expose 9 brands to avoid and 2 that are safe. Coming in at number 9, we have Century Tuna. This Philippine-produced brand markets itself as an affordable, flavorful option found in Asian grocery stores and international aisles across Canada. The packaging looks friendly enough. Bright colors, cheerful graphics, promises of quality protein at budget prices. You see it sitting there on the shelf. Maybe pick it up because the price tag catches your eye. Seems harmless, seems safe. But here is what the Canadian Food Inspection Agency discovered just this month. In January 2025, Century brand Flaked Light Tuna Hot and Spicy was recalled nationwide because it contained undeclared wheat. The CFIA triggered this recall after their own testing revealed the hidden allergen lurking inside those sealed cans. Now, you might think wheat in tuna sounds harmless. Just a bit of thickener, maybe. Nothing serious. But for seniors with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, this could trigger a life-threatening reaction. Imagine sitting down to what you believe is a safe, simple tuna snack. You open the can. The aroma seems normal. The texture looks right. You take a bite. And then your immune system launches an attack on your own intestines. That is what happens when gluten hits an unprepared body. The cramping starts. The bloating sets in. For severe cases, you are rushing to the emergency room, wondering what went wrong when you did everything right. The allergen issue is just the tip of the iceberg. The fact that this undeclared ingredient slipped through reveals something far more troubling about quality control standards. If wheat made it into the can without anyone catching it until government inspectors intervened months after distribution, what else might be hiding in there? The label says one thing, reality says another. For seniors managing multiple health conditions, already juggling medications, and careful dietary restrictions that doctors have specifically prescribed, an undeclared ingredient is not just an inconvenience. It is a betrayal of the most fundamental promise food companies make. You trusted that label with your health, and they failed you completely. The CFIA is still conducting investigations that may lead to additional product recalls, which means the full scope of the problem may not even be known yet. Most people have no idea how to protect themselves from hidden dangers like these. The solution exists, but most Canadians never learn about it. Stay with me. We will reveal exactly what to look for at the very end of this video. At number 8, we have Starkist. This American giant has been on Canadian shelves for decades. The brand built its entire reputation on that friendly Charlie the tuna mascot, the cheerful cartoon character promising quality you can trust. Every commercial showed happy families enjoying healthy meals. Every package radiated wholesome goodness. But behind that cheerful cartoon lies one of the biggest food industry scandals in recent memory. Starkist was caught red-handed in a massive price-fixing conspiracy. The company, along with other major tuna producers, colluded in secret meetings to artificially inflate prices across the market. They worked together to squeeze more money from hardworking families, Canadian families, your family, forcing people to pay more for basic pantry staples while executives lined their pockets. This was not a minor oversight. This was calculated corporate greed executed over years. Starkist paid millions in fines when caught. Their parent company, Dongwon Industries, settled lawsuits totaling nearly $217 million across all the related cases. Think about that for a moment. A company you trusted was actively scheming to take more money from your wallet while pretending to offer fair value. If they were willing to cheat you financially in such a coordinated way, how much do you really trust their commitment to food safety? But the betrayal does not stop at your wallet. Consumer Reports conducted detailed laboratory testing and found significant variation in mercury levels between individual cans of the same Starkist products. Some cans tested reassuringly low. Others spiked high enough that experts recommended limiting consumption to once per week or less. A few samples contained mercury levels so elevated they recommended not eating that product at all. The terrifying problem is that you have absolutely no way of knowing which can you are getting. The cans look identical, same label, same color, same promises. But inside, the mercury content is seafood roulette. And seniors are the ones gambling with their brain health every time they pop open that familiar lid. Mercury does not just wash through your body and disappear. It accumulates in your tissues over time. The medical term is bioaccumulation. Each can add to your total body burden. Chronic exposure has been scientifically linked to cognitive decline, memory impairment, and difficulty concentrating. For someone already concerned about staying mentally sharp in their golden years, every can of unpredictable mercury levels is another dice roll with your cognitive future. Now at number 7, we have Bumblebee. If Starkist was caught price-fixing, Bumblebee was their partner in crime. But Bumblebee took the scandal to an even more shocking level. The former CEO, Christopher Leshowski, was criminally prosecuted, found guilty, and sentenced to 40 months in federal prison for his role in the conspiracy. Let that sink in. The man running one of the most recognizable tuna brands in North America went to prison. Not a fine, not a settlement. Prison. For cheating consumers just like you. But the scandals plaguing Bumblebee go far deeper than financial crimes. In October 2012, something horrific happened at their Santa Fe Springs, California plant. A worker named Jose Melena entered an industrial oven to load cans of tuna for sterilization. Other workers, completely unaware that Melena was inside the massive oven, proceeded to load 12,000 pounds of additional tuna around and on top of him. Then they sealed the oven. Then they activated the sterilization cycle. Over the next 2 hours, Jose Melena was cooked to death inside that industrial oven. This was a catastrophic failure of workplace safety protocols that revealed how little regard this company had for basic human welfare. If Bumblebee could not protect their own workers, how carefully are they really protecting the food that ends up in your kitchen? The safety issues extend directly to consumers. Bumblebee has faced multiple recalls over the years for sterilization problems, loose seals, and botulism risks. In 2016, they recalled over 31,000 cases of canned tuna because of potential underprocessing. The sterilization process had failed, meaning dangerous bacteria could thrive inside sealed cans that looked and smelled completely normal. Here is something most Canadians do not realize. In Canada, Bumblebee products are marketed under the Cloverleaf brand name. If you have been buying Cloverleaf thinking you are supporting a different company, you have actually been buying Bumblebee products all along. Same corporate problems, same troubled history, just wearing a different label. What is the worst canned product you have ever opened? Drop it in the comments below. Number 6 is Cloverleaf. Speaking of Cloverleaf, this Canadian brand deserves its own spot on our list for reasons beyond just being Bumblebee's local face. Marketed as a trusted domestic option with Canadian heritage, Cloverleaf dominates grocery store shelves across the country. Walk into any Loblaws, Sobeys, Metro, or independent grocer, and you will see rows of those familiar red and white cans stacked high. They look reliable, they look Canadian, they look safe. But here is what Cloverleaf does not want you to know. In January 2021, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency recalled Cloverleaf brand sardines boneless fillets in 2 flavors because they may permit the growth of Clostridium botulinum. That is the bacteria that causes botulism, one of the most dangerous and potentially fatal forms of food poisoning known to medicine. Not a mild stomach upset, potentially fatal. Symptoms of botulism start subtly and progress rapidly. Facial paralysis, unreactive pupils, difficulty swallowing, drooping eyelids, blurred vision, difficulty speaking, then generalized weakness spreading through your body, progressive paralysis, and potentially death for seniors whose immune systems may already be compromised. From age or medication, botulism can be rapidly fatal. There is no home remedy. It requires immediate emergency medical intervention. The recall affected products distributed to Alberta, New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Ontario, and Quebec. Millions of Canadians potentially exposed. And the cause? Defective cans that could allow deadly bacteria to flourish inside what you thought was safe food sitting innocently in your pantry. Greenpeace has also specifically criticized Cloverleaf for having no responsibly caught tuna options under its flagship brand. The problematic fishing practices do not just harm the ocean ecosystem. They often correlate with less careful handling and quality control throughout the entire supply chain. If this helps you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe. It is free, and it means you will never miss these exposés. At number 5, we have Chicken of the Sea, another American brand that floods Canadian grocery shelves. Chicken of the Sea has built its reputation on that distinctive mermaid logo. Friendly, approachable, almost whimsical. But behind that pretty face lies a troubling history of safety failures. In 2016, the company behind Chicken of the Sea recalled over 107,000 individual cans of chunk-light tuna because the product may have been undercooked due to equipment malfunction. The sterilization process is the critical step that kills dangerous bacteria in canned food. When that process fails, you are essentially eating a sealed petri dish of potential pathogens. The company's official statement described how deviations in the sterilization process could result in contamination by pathogens, which could lead to life-threatening illness if consumed. Life-threatening. Those are their own words. But it gets worse. In January 2026, the FDA issued an urgent warning because a third-party distributor accidentally shipped quarantined tuna that had been recalled back in February 2025 for botulism. Risk. Products that were supposed to be destroyed somehow made their way back onto store shelves. Recalled product. Back on shelves. Being sold to unsuspecting consumers. If this catastrophic breakdown of safety protocols can happen with FDA oversight, imagine what might slip through in the complex global supply chains that eventually reach Canadian stores. The company sells tuna under multiple brand names, including Genova. So even if you think you are avoiding Chicken of the Sea, you might be eating their products without knowing it. For seniors, botulism is particularly dangerous. The CDC reports that symptoms can take up to 70 days to appear after consuming contaminated food, 2 months or more. By then, you might not even remember which can cause the problem. Do you think recalls are accidents, or just the ones they actually got caught on? Number 4 is great value. Walmart's ubiquitous store brand promises everyday low prices. Value right there in the name. But when it comes to canned tuna, you might be paying a different kind of price entirely. One measured in your health, not your wallet. Great value tuna is contract manufactured by various suppliers around the world, meaning there is no single consistent production facility ensuring uniform quality standards. One batch might come from a factory in Thailand with excellent safety protocols. The next batch might come from somewhere else entirely with far less rigorous quality controls. You have absolutely no way of knowing. The packaging looks the same. The price is the same, but the actual safety and quality could vary dramatically from can to can. A landmark 2007 CBC investigation examined mercury content in canned tuna available on Canadian store shelves. The results were alarming. They found that 13% of Albacore tuna tested exceeded Health Canada's mercury guidelines. Some cans tested as high as 0.9 parts per million, almost double the guideline. The investigation profiled Kevin Walker, an Ottawa man who ate 2 to 3 cans of tuna daily, believing he was making smart nutritional choices. When toxicologists tested his body, they found mercury levels 4 times higher than recommended safe limits. His healthy habit had poisoned him. For seniors managing heart conditions with blood thinners or other cardiovascular medications, elevated mercury exposure creates additional compounding risks. Mercury can affect blood pressure regulation directly. It interferes with the very physiological systems you are trying to protect with medication. Great Value also offers flavored tuna varieties with added sodium. A single serving can contain over 400 milligrams of sodium. For someone on a sodium-restricted diet, that is nearly a third of their entire daily limit in one small portion. Don't go yet. The solution to protecting yourself from all of these hidden dangers comes at the very end of this video. Most people never learn how to fix this, but you will. Coming in at number 3, we have No Name. Loblaw's iconic bright yellow packaging has become synonymous with simple, affordable basics. The no-frills approach promises that you are paying for the product inside, not fancy marketing. Simplicity, value, trust. But simplicity should never mean compromising on safety. No Name tuna, like other major store brands, suffers from the same fundamental transparency problem. The parent company sources from various global suppliers, depending on pricing and availability. The specific origin of any given can remain deliberately opaque to consumers. What makes this particularly concerning for Canadian seniors is the sodium content that pervades budget tuna options. Many affordable tuna products contain substantial added salt for flavor enhancement and preservation. According to Statistics Canada, Nearly 1 in 4 Canadian adults has been diagnosed with high blood pressure. Chronic kidney disease affects approximately 12% of Canadian adults. Health Canada recommends that most adults limit sodium intake to 2,300 milligrams daily. For those with existing health conditions, the limit drops to 1,500 milligrams or less. A single can of regular tuna packed in water contains about 525 milligrams of salt. Tuna canned in oil often contains over 800 milligrams. Add that to the bread for your sandwich, the mayonnaise, and you can easily blast past healthy limits without realizing it. Budget brands typically source from fisheries that prioritize volume and low cost over quality. The fish may spend longer in supply chains, increasing opportunities for temperature fluctuations. Every additional step is another opportunity for something to go wrong. The irony is that people buy no-name specifically to save money on healthy eating. Tuna is supposed to be the smart choice, but if that affordable protein comes with hidden health costs, is it really a bargain? At number 2, we have Gold Seal. This Canadian brand markets itself as a quality option, with heritage and tradition. The packaging carefully evokes images of pristine Canadian waters. The gold coloring suggests premium quality. It all feels very reassuring. But Gold Seal is owned by Ocean Brands, the same parent company as Ocean's brand Tuna, and their supply chain still shares many of the same fundamental concerns as other major producers. Greenpeace has specifically called out the need for Gold Seal to transition more aggressively to sustainable tuna. The company has been noticeably slower than Ocean's branded products to implement meaningful changes. The Albacore tuna options from Gold Seal carry significant mercury concerns. Albacore, marketed as white tuna and positioned as the premium option, consistently tests considerably higher for mercury than light tuna varieties like skipjack. Health Canada specifically advises that children and pregnant women limit their Albacore consumption to no more than 300 grams per week. But where is the clear warning for seniors? Here is what the labels do not tell you. Emerging research suggests a potential link between long-term mercury exposure and increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Mercury can induce oxidative stress and chronic inflammation in brain tissue. These are key drivers of cognitive decline. The very omega-3 benefits that make tuna attractive for brain health might be counteracted by excess mercury intake. You eat the tuna thinking you are protecting your brain, but the mercury may be attacking it. For someone in their 50s, 60s, or 70s, already concerned about maintaining cognitive function, the mercury question is deeply personal. Every can of high-mercury tuna is a calculated risk with your mental clarity on the line. Ever noticed how these brands keep recalling but never changing? Number 1. The brand you need to avoid most urgently is generic Albacore tuna from any major brand. This might seem strange for the top spot, not a specific brand name, but a category. But understanding this could be the most important thing you learn today. Albacore tuna, marketed everywhere as white tuna and positioned as the premium option worth paying extra for, consistently contains significantly more mercury than light tuna varieties. This is documented science confirmed by government agencies repeatedly. The CBC investigation found that 13% of the Albacore tuna tested exceeded Health Canada's guideline of 0.5 parts per million mercury. Some samples tested as high as 0.9 parts per million, nearly double the supposed safety limit. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency tests tuna before it reaches store shelves. But even they admit that approximately 6% of Albacore regularly fails their testing. That means roughly 1 in 17 cans would not meet published safety guidelines. And remember, that is just what gets caught during spot testing. How many problematic cans slip through and end up on dinner plates? Health Canada was eventually forced to issue specific consumption guidelines for canned Albacore that are stricter than advice for regular light tuna. Pregnant women are advised to limit consumption to 4 servings per week. Children aged 1 to 4 should eat no more than 1 serving weekly. But where is the clear warning for seniors? The same mercury that damages developing brains does not magically become harmless to aging brains. Decreased kidney function, common with aging, means slower elimination of toxins. Multiple medications can interact with mercury exposure in complex ways. Consumer Reports found dramatic variation even within the exact same brand. 2 out of 3 samples tested low enough for regular consumption, but the third sample spiked into the once-per-week category. Same brand, same label, different mercury. For Albacore specifically, some samples contained mercury levels high, enough that experts recommended not eating them at all. Zero consumption, The fundamental problem with canned tuna, especially albacore, is unpredictability. Mercury levels vary wildly in ways consumers cannot possibly detect. The fish looks the same, smells the same, tastes the same, but the invisible mercury could be perfectly safe or dangerously high. This is the profound betrayal at the heart of the industry. They sell you a product positioned as healthy and completely safe, but they cannot actually guarantee that any individual can meet safety standards for your specific health situation. Now, for the two brands that are actually safe, Safe Catch Elite Wild Tuna is the only canned tuna brand anywhere that tests every single individual fish for mercury before accepting it. Not batch testing. Every individual tuna is screened to mercury limits 10 times stricter than federal requirements. Their limit of 0.1 parts per million is 10 times lower than the standard guideline. If a fish does not pass their strict purity standards, Safe Catch simply does not buy it. The company has tested over 6 million individual tuna fish. Their data reveals that about 1 in 3 tuna do not meet their standards and get rejected. Safe Catch is actively filtering out the high mercury fish that other brands blindly accept. Beyond mercury testing, Safe Catch uses a unique processing method that retains nutrients. They hand-pack raw fish and slow-cook each can just once. Conventional brands pre-cook fish on open racks, where omega-3 oils drain away, then add water or fillers, then cook again. Safe Catch preserves the natural oils that make tuna nutritionally valuable. They never add water, fillers, or artificial additives. Safe Catch is available at Healthy Planet stores and through Amazon Canada. Yes, it costs more at around $3 to $5 per can, but you are buying verified protection for your brain with every single can. The second recommendation is Ocean's Light Tuna, specifically their skipjack and yellowfin products with MSC certification and FAD-free labeling visible on the packaging. Ocean Brands has made significant improvements to their sourcing practices, earning recognition from Greenpeace. Starting in 2016, all Ocean's brand light meat products transitioned to pole and line, or purse-seine fishing without fish aggregating devices. Ocean's offers several low-sodium varieties designed for people managing blood pressure and kidney function. Their low-sodium skipjack contains significantly less salt while still providing quality protein and omega-3 fatty acids. Ocean's has removed BPA from their can linings. While they do not test every individual fish like Safe Catch does, their skipjack varieties use smaller, younger tuna that naturally accumulate less mercury. Health Canada specifically notes that light tuna is relatively low in mercury compared to albacore. Ocean's is a Canadian company headquartered in Richmond, British Columbia. When you buy Ocean's, you are supporting Canadian jobs and a company that has demonstrated willingness to improve. Not all canned tuna is created equal. Some brands are gambling with your health while charging you for the privilege. The mercury hiding in that innocent-looking can could be silently attacking your brain. The sodium could be straining your heart and kidneys. The bacteria from failed sterilization could land you in the emergency room. But now you know the truth. You know which brands have failed government inspections. You know which companies have faced criminal charges. You know which products have been linked to botulism risks. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.